Hey everybody, it's Coin Snobz. I'm Keith,
I'm Jason.
and today we're going to do a box of halves. Got it from my regular bank with the regular carrier, Armored Truck Company. So we're going to open it up and see if we have any enders on the top.
Maybe there'll be silver in here.
Maybe, you don't know.
Ooh,
It's a good sign.
it's all that silver trying to bust out.
That's right. Let's take a peek and see what we got. Maybe.
Maybe.
All right. Well, got our usual bicentennial ender.
Only one, though. That's actually kind of odd.
That is odd. Some mint state enders. Another one there.
All right. Well, we shall see. All right, guys. Here's what we got. Well, this is at least most of it, but certainly not the most important parts so far. I'll show you that here in a minute. So we got one single coin with strike doubling. It's also got a little bit of struck through, that's why we kept it. We don't keep as many of the coins that have strike doubling anymore, just because it's not true double die, of course. But again, we do like them because they look cool, so we usually keep them. And then we got some gold-plated coins, which is kind of hard to see with the lighting. But one of these, the one on the left here, has that Counter-Strike 1960 on the left, 1980 on the right. Not sure what that is, but we've seen a few of them, and a few other people I know have found them, including we've seen them found on live streams. So if anybody knows what that counter stamp means, let us know in the comments. Not sure what it is. Might do a little bit more research on it just to see what it was all about. And then, of course, we have some struck-through coins, struck through debris or struck through grease. That one, actually, that 1972, you can kind of see where it's been struck through without even putting it under the scope there on the right-hand side. Through the T in Trust. Might look at that one under the scope. It's kind of interesting. It almost looks like it's damaged, but I think it's strike doubling. Might look at that, though. And then, of course, a couple other ones. That one's definitely struck through grease. As you can see through the tail feathers there, most of that design is missing. And then a whole bunch of mint state coins. Some really nice mint state coins. In fact, a couple of them are kind of proof-like. Really nice looking 1982 there. Nice 71 and 84. We got some nifsies. Not intended for circulation. And for those of you folks out there that are new, not intended for circulation, between 2002 to current, they didn't actually strike any of these coins for circulation. They were just available in rolls directly from the mint or in mint sets. And also, 1970 was not intended for circulation. The 1970 Ds, which is the only 40% silver not intended for circulation. Those were, of course, only available in mint sets, and 1987 was only available in mint sets. Really nice bicentennial. And a 1973 S proof. Pretty sweet. A whole bunch of clashed coins, which we'll take a look at a couple of those guys, because there's one here, I think it's this 1989, that is really clashed. I mean, the design, the reverse showing through on the verse design is crazy. Like, it's really awesome. And then down here we have some oddities that we'll take a look at. Feeder finger damage and stuff like that. Another quick overview of the goodies. Oh yeah, almost forgot. 1968, 40% silver. Yes, the silver seems to be back in town, finally. After a long hiatus of not finding these things in circulation for the half dollars, we found some silver. Pretty exciting. 1968. Oh, and also we found all of these 1967s. Oh, and then there was one last loan. 1967 there. Yes. Finally. Finally finding silver like the old days. Including this guy right here that is gorgeous. Anyways, gonna pick a few of these pretties out of the herd and take a look at them real close. Alright, first one we're gonna take a look at here is this 1972 Denver that at the very end of describing it there in the other part of the video, I accidentally said it was maybe strike doubling, but no, it's definitely struck through debris. This is the one where I thought maybe it was damaged. Keith was thinking that it might be damaged as well, but the more I look at it, the more it looks like it struck through some sort of debris, like a piece of metal or something like that. Doesn't really look like damage. Typically, damage has really jagged edges, sort of like lamination. Only lamination you can kind of tell because it's sort of 3D, especially if the piece of lamination hasn't separated from the coin yet. But that, I'm going to say, is struck through debris. I don't know. What do you guys think? Give us your opinion down in the comments. But I'm going to go with struck through debris on this one. And then we got a close-up of that gold-plated coin with the dated counter stamps. 1960 on the left. 1980 on the right. And it is on a 1983 Philadelphia. And the weird part about it, too, is we found a couple of these that have the exact same counter stamp that aren't gold-plated. So I don't know if maybe this was for a company. Maybe they handed these out to some of their executives or some of their workers or whatever. But it's really strange because it is very prevalent. I mean, like I said, we found these before in circulation in some of our half-dollar boxes, and we've also seen them found in live streams and other people's videos. So if you got any ideas, let us know on that one. Really strange. 1989 Philadelphia in decent condition. Not too shabby, couple hits here and there on his cheek and on his jowls. But if you look right behind his neck there, you can see some of the clashing. And of course, a clashed coin, for the people that are kind of newer for the hobby, basically what happens is, after a coin is ejected, the feeder finger, which not only ejects the struck coin, but also pushes a blank planchet into the chamber to be struck, it fails to load a brand new planchet in. And when it does that, the press will still come down. It'll still attempt to strike a coin, but it'll allow the hammer die and the anvil die being the reverse die that stays stationary, and the verse die, which is the hammer die, to hit each other. They actually clash. So they'll leave a little bit of each other's design on the opposing die. That right there behind his neck is actually the wing feathers from the reverse. And then the weird part is this right here, right at the very edge of the bust, right about here. I know it's kind of hard to see because, again, I have this small mouse cursor, but that, I'm not sure what that is. And here's where it gets even stranger. If you look at the exact same spot on the reverse, it's also on the reverse. So it almost seems like maybe there was a little piece of, or a couple pieces of metal or something that was between the dies or on one of the dies when they came down and clashed, or I don't know. It's really strange because it looks like it's almost the exact same. In fact, it is the exact same design on both the obverse and the reverse. So that's not necessarily caused by the design transfer. That's almost like there was something between the two. Really weird, but again, as you guys know, we like cool and different, and this is definitely cool and different. I mean, how many times are you going to find something weird like this? Rest of the coin, pretty decent condition. Except, of course, for the usual places like that shield. Always one of the very first places that gets worn on these Kennedy half dollars. But, I don't know, really strange anomaly. Plus that clashing right there. I mean, that is obviously the wing feathers from the eagle's the reverse eagle. Not too bad, but definitely different. Another 1983 Philadelphia. Decent coin, but you can see that it has definitely been polished by one of the mint workers that was operating this press. Die polishing occurs either when, of course, they discover that a coin has, or dies have been clashed. They try to get some of those design elements from the opposing dies off. A lot of times, if the die is older, they'll start to polish it just to get as much use out of that die as they absolutely positively can. But in this case, it was because of a clash. And this is way more of a typical clash that we find on these half dollars. If you look between the L, the F, and most of dollar, and of course between the F and the D, between half and dollar, you can see, trying to get this in the light really well here so you can kind of see what we're talking about. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. That is actually the design of the top of Kennedy's head, so that was definitely also a clash where those two dies met without a planchet between them. And you can see where the mint operator had attempted to polish out that damage. You can see lots of little striations, lots of little scratches here. That is actually on the die. And this is one of the things that I really love about coin collecting, is this coin tells a story. There you go. Yeah, you can really see it there. But yeah, that is what's left of a clash. That's the top of Kennedy's hairline right there. Kind of an ugly 1977 Denver. Exactly what you would expect to find as far as circulation from a 77 Denver, or pretty much anything that's a few years old. Especially anything that survived the old days of these coins being used in slot machines at casinos, which you've probably heard us refer to some coins as casino coins. Those are the ones that are heavily damaged. I mean, you know they spent a lot of time at a casino. I mean, they look pockmarked. They're just heavily damaged. This one, not terrible, but, I mean, it was circulated and could have spent a little bit of time in a slot machine. But we kept it because it's missing something very important. There is no FG on this coin. Designer's initials, of course, should be right here on the right-hand side, below the eagle's leg and above the tail feathers. And there's nothing there. FG, of course, for the designer, Frank Gasparo. Blank. Nada. Nothing. Show you an example of what should be there. And this, of course, is another one of the coins that we kept. This is the one with the feeder finger damage, where the feeder finger had actually scraped the anvil die, or the reverse die. You can kind of see the scrapes right there going at a bit of an angle from the arrows here towards the wing, and then all the way through to the opposite side of the opposite wing. So that's definitely feeder finger damage. Again, that's what ejects the struck coin and loads in a blank planchet. And if those dies haven't separated completely when it either ejects or loads in a blank planchet, well, this would be probably eject, because this is when it goes fully past the dies. So, when they're not totally separated, and that feeder finger comes across, that's what happens. It scrapes one or both of the dies and transfers that design to every subsequent coin struck after that. But anyways, kind of getting off track here. There's the FG on this coin. A little bit of a different design because this is a newer coin. This is a 94 Denver. And this is that 77D with the FG missing. Not too shabby at all. And then how about we end it off with one of the nicer 1967s. 40% silver. Of course, 40% silver struck between 1965 and 1970. 1970 being one of those NIFCs, or not intended for circulation, as I had talked about a little bit earlier. 1970D, I should say. Not a bad looking coin. I mean, it's 40% silver. Among all of the other 40% silvers that we finally found in a box of $half. I mean, it's been a while, guys, since we've found any kind of silver in our $half boxes. It's been too long. It really has. And if we find them, there'll be one, maybe two. This box was actually pretty epic for silver. Well, I mean, and for errors. I mean, the no FG and everything else. This has been a good box. Very happy. Renewed interest in our $half. Not that we needed that, because as you guys know, we're kind of obsessive when it comes to this stuff. Not a bad looking coin. Found in circulation. Anyways, guys, gonna wrap it up right about meow. Again, if you got any comments or questions, go ahead and pop them down below in the comments. If you're not subscribed, please go ahead and do so now, because that really helps us out. Working towards those 600 friends so we can get out another giveaway to you guys. But until next time, love you all, God bless, and we will see you soon.